we're looking at your lifestyle because it has to fit and be customized to you. So it doesn't matter if we have all the great science in the world, if it doesn't match your schedule, your work schedule, your sleep schedule, your family routine, your personal culture. We have to find something that's going to integrate. And I know what a lot of people are thinking. It's like, yeah, I know how to lose weight, or I know what I should be eating. I know you do. And I'm not here to change all of that. What I'm here to do is help you with the defining factor, and that is my experts are going to help you execute on those things with speed.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow? Today, I'm going to start this with talking about energy. I noticed within my own day-to-day schedule that I didn't have the energy about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, you may have a different time when you're feeling a lack of energy, but I just being honest with you, I just didn't know how to eat for maximum energy. And that ended up impacting the overall business. And I really wanted to make sure that I show up as my best self every day, not just for my clients, but also for my family, for me at a personal level. And my performance and my workouts was not where I wanted to be. So I had to get real about my own health. And I'm going to share with you the story today. I've got a special guest that we're going to be talking to. His name is Angelo Poli. He is the founder of Metpro. Metpro is a very different kind of approach to not just losing weight, but just really changing the body dynamics. They look at your metabolic rate. I went through this program. I'm going to share with you some of the results I had, but at a high level, in 37 days, I lost 14 pounds. I feel great about it. I've got some before and after pictures that if you listen to the special episode, which I'll tell you about in a little bit later, you can get those pictures. I tell you, I lost about 3 or 4% body fat, and I was tracking this through one of the scales I bought. I tell you the whole story inside the episode today with Angelo. What you really want to take away from this is, as a leader, are you playing at your most optimal level? Are you showing up fully energized and pouring into others? Well, I believe you have to lead by example to do that. And if you're feeling fat, if you're feeling less energized, if you're feeling like you're not the real person that you want to be, then it probably has something to do with your nutrition. You have to throw in there a little bit of exercise as well, but your nutrition is the most critical factor. The leverage that has on you losing weight, and how you feel, and the energy and how you sleep really matters. Metpro is a company that I decided to work with because they reached out to me, having this podcast, having an audience like you, and they asked me if I'd go through this trial for 30 days. I did. I love this work. I really have tried intermittent fasting. I've tried other diets. I've cut out all kinds of stuff. So I say this to you because I really appreciate getting the guidance from their team, Jesse, and Angelo shares with you some of the science behind this and all of the things that make this work. Before we get in the interview, I want to remind you that because this is a special episode, it's brought to you by Metpro. We really want to create more of a awareness around what it would take for you to take your body and your life to the next level. So this episode is completely for you. It is. They're not on the Inc. 500. They are not on the Inc. 5000 even, but they are creating a strong foundation with a team around science-based transformation. And I say that to you because I just had the interview with Angelo. Amazing. And inside this, you're going to get the full offer. But I want to make sure you understand I've got a special offer for you. If you go to metpro.co/GTT for Grow Think Tank, or if you tell their advisors that you heard about this from Grow Think Tank, then you can get a free consultation with their staff. So make sure you tell them about Grow Think Tank because they're going to give me a little bit of credit from that. They're going to give me some attaboys. I'd love for you, our audience, to really represent in those free consultations. I did it, and it changed the way I think about my food, and I decided to get on the program. So if you want to do that, just go to metpro.co/GTT. Now here's the interview with Angelo. Angelo, how are you?
Gene, I am doing excellent. I woke up this morning and I remembered I got to talk to you today, so I've been looking forward to it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it too. I've been thinking about you for, a little over 37 days. Um, we'll get into what that means in a few minutes. You are a founder of a really revolutionary kind of company, and really excited to talk to you about what that is. So tell us, what is Metpro?
From our concierge coaching company, Metpro itself actually refers to metabolic profiling, which really is a algorithm or mathematical equation for tracking, parsing, and analyzing people's individual metabolism. That's what, strictly speaking, MetPro or metabolic profiling is. But our company is all about people, relationships, and helping people transform. And we spend most of our days step by step walking through tailored transformation makeover projects. And it's a blast, Gene. I feel honored and privileged to be able to do what I get to do each day because I love it.
Well, I've been on the program for 37 days. When your team reached out to me and said, would you be interested in kind of going through this program and then talking to our founder about it, I had a lot of questions. I know a lot about fitness and health, and I had my doctor recently tell me what I should be doing. Like, do you swim and everything? I'm like, look, dude, I got this. But he did rub my belly and say, you could lose a little bit of weight.
There it is.
And we'll talk about that in a second, but you talked about, individual. And that's one of the things that got me when I was talking to your team about this. What do you mean by an individualized program?
So there's a few challenges that our team set out to solve, but the biggest overarching theme, and I don't believe I'm alone in this, I think a lot of fitness, even medical health professionals will say that they've been disappointed in the tools available for identifying, tracking, and individualizing nutrition and training. But I talk so much more about nutrition, not because it's more important than exercise, but because it's more mysterious and confusing than exercise, how somebody needs to eat. And fundamentally, it's because you can have two people eating the same way with completely different results from a weight loss perspective, from a muscle development or performance perspective. And so what we have set out to do at MetPro is identify exactly what each person needs. And unsurprisingly, it's different for each person. And that explains why there's so many different strategies out there. So I know the first one is like, oh, okay, we're going to talk about diets, and everybody thinks that, no, this is the way, you go keto, or no, you go intermittent fasting, or no, you go vegan, or no, you eat more of this or less of that. And I am here to set the record straight. They're all correct. Every one of them. There's science behind every single approach out there. It's a matter of figuring out which lever, which tool is going to be the most applicable to you. And Gene, the tool that we're going to use for you isn't necessarily going to be the same tool that we have the most leverage for the next person. Even if he's a guy about your age, size, activity level, everyone's body is different. So that's what our experts at metabolic profiling at MetPro focus on.
That's one of the things that got me behind talking to your team, because I had thought for a long time that, I had tried, the keto or, kind of eating just protein and no carbs, and I lost a little bit of weight, but I was very disappointed with, 6 pounds over 6 months. And I gave up coffee and beer and sugar, and I gave up carbs like completely, and 6 pounds. And I was like, this is not worth it. And I
get it.
I was doing intermittent fasting. I was throwing it all on there together, and it wasn't working. So when I did this with your team, I'm blown away. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel like I've deprived myself. I did give up coffee. I did give up sugar. I've had a little bit of sweets with.
Hey, disclaimer, Gene. I didn't tell you had to give up coffee.
I chose it myself because I can't take it without cream and sugar.
See,
I took it. I do take. I have had a couple of cups. I think over the 37 days since I started with cream only, and that's not too bad with a little dash of cinnamon. But I really blown away with the results I got off of this, and I don't feel deprived.
Oh, that's awesome. So what are those results?
I want to tell you the story why I came to this, because I think the audience would really appreciate this. And I've
love
talked about this a little bit about my journey here, and we can talk about some of the key principles that have worked for me.
Great.
But I've worked out. I love working out. I don't hate it, but I haven't been able to because of I hurt my knee about a year ago. I hurt my shoulder back in, I think, April of 2019. And I started physical therapy in July. So I was trying to do it on my own, but the doctors couldn't help me. The x-rays were inconclusive. Chiropractic wasn't helping.
Oh, okay.
And so I went through physical therapy, and I wasn't able to work out the way I want to. When you can't push the way you want to with your shoulder, and you can't do lower body, I could walk, but I couldn't run, couldn't jump. And so I was really limited. I turned 49 in November, and that's a pretty big number for me.
Just hold there, Gene. Just push pause. Stay right there. Perfect spot.
I'm turning 50 soon. So I was like, I should be thinking about my health and my weight and whatnot. I used to weigh a lot less than I do now. And I went into the doctor for that yearly checkup. I had the full thing, and I'd weighed myself in clothes that morning to kind of know where I stand. And I was at 195. And I knew I needed to lose weight. Like I was like, okay, yep, I need to lose weight. But when I went in, they measured me as they always do, and it said 204. My first response was, I think your scale's wrong. And they're like, no, it's right. And so I told the doctor, I said, I think your scale's wrong. I was 195 at the house, just like 45 minutes ago. And so let's measure you on the other scale. So we measured the other scale. It was actually 204 and a half.
You had him get out 2 scales at the doctor's like, oh, I love it.
So they're like, I think your scale's wrong. And they said it nicely. And I'm like, I guess that body fat calculator that I have on my scale is wrong too. And so I share this with you because I started out, I ate a little bit more after that because I stress eat sometimes.
Okay.
And I didn't like what I heard. So I ended up getting up to about 208, 209 even. And when I started your program, I was right at 208. And I weighed myself this morning. I was just under 194.
That a boy. Love hearing that.
So
That's
14
awesome.
pounds in 37 days, feeling good, feeling high energy throughout the day. I've never felt down. I want to talk to you a little bit about, why this works and why the program works, but that's the results I had from this.
Oh, that's excellent. See, from my perspective, and I love that you've had all these results in just 37 days and you're dropping pounds and you're feeling great. But here's really the behind the scenes tour, because we consider ourselves educators. I don't even consider myself and our company a weight loss company, though that is probably 85% of our clientele. It's a tool to transform, because we get people that want to accomplish all kinds of different things. Just recently, we had a gal that was going to be on one of those survival reality TV shows. She hired us to actually slow her metabolic rate so she wouldn't be so hungry for whatever it is, the 21 days, 30 days. Anyhow, in your case, what I hear is that you're feeling good, you're still eating, and you're losing weight, because losing weight by itself is not the defining metrics. Anybody can lose weight. You stop eating, you get sick, you're going to lose weight. What is meaningful to me is, are you losing weight while you're still eating and eating sustainably? Because if the answer is yes, even if the weight loss is slow, the weight loss tends to be permanent. Whereas if you go, okay, well, I'm going to do nothing but liquids for, or I'm going to do, only eat, 1 meal a day, or yes, you will lose weight. What is your next move? What comes after that? There's no next steps. And it all boils down to the pace of your metabolism is going to be the deciding factor long term, the number on the scale. What you ate yesterday is going to determine what it says this morning, but the overarching theme is all about, can you manage and transform your metabolism? And we believe that you can, and we've seen that borne out through client after client.
Well, that's the way I feel. I mean, we were checking in on energy. My coach was Jessie.
Oh, she's fabulous.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I really, have not felt drained. I mean, a couple of days, but I have a pretty hectic schedule. I will tell you, and I'm going to smile when I say this, 37 days and 14 pounds of fat loss. I feel like my muscles getting stronger because I'm back in the gym lifting weights. I've also was probably one of the heavier travel periods for me. And I had Thanksgiving. And my family, we have 2 Thanksgivings, one on Thursday, one on Friday this year. And I had dessert at both of those, to be honest with you. But it was just one. And one slice of pie. And I feel great. And, the results are great. It's an amazing program you have. I know it's science-based. So give us a little bit more detail about why this works or why Metpro is so effective.
Excellent. So the fundamentals, there's 3 things that we look at. There's more than 3, but this is a short podcast, so I'm going to hit highlights. So the first thing is we're looking at your lifestyle, because it has to fit and be customized to you. So it doesn't matter if we have all the great science in the world, if it doesn't match your schedule, your work schedule, your sleep schedule, your family routine, your personal culture. We have to find something that's going to integrate. And I know what a lot of people are thinking. It's like, yeah, I know how to lose weight, or I know what I should be eating. I know you do. And I'm not here to change all of that. What I'm here to do is help you with the defining factor, and that is, my experts are going to help you execute on those things with speed. Because when I do these seminars and my lectures and I talk with groups of people, everybody asks me the same question, Mr. Poli, we know the celebrities and the pro athletes and all these, high profile names that you work with. What's the secret diet? What's the secret exercise? And I tell them, there is no secret diet. There's no secret exercise. I'm going to tell you the secret right now. It is time management. That's the secret. Because everyone's strategy for diet, everyone's strategy for training is going to be a little bit unique. But the one commonality is, if you can master the time element piece, that's where you're going to get exponential results. So lifestyle is the first thing. The second thing is identifying, are you strategic or metabolic? So referencing weight loss here, there's 2 reasons why someone will struggle to be the body composition or the body weight they want. Either A, it's because they have been unable to parlay a regular routine of healthy eating and activity into weight loss. It's not that metabolically, physiologically, biologically they don't respond. It's that they're lacking consistency. And that describes everyone at some point. That's what our coaches help with. That's behavioral, that's strategic, and that's a huge piece of what Metpro is all about. But there's another side. Through evaluation, we can identify sometimes people are doing everything quote unquote right. I'm eating clean, I'm exercising, I'm active, and my body still isn't responding. And yes, that happens. We see it all the time. Lots of people calling us up. We've worked with people who've been on, for example, previous contestants from The Biggest Loser. We've worked with people that have massive histories of affecting their metabolism. And we're usually dealing with these really, really tough cases of rebuilding from the ground up the metabolism. And we can identify when that's the case, and our strategy has to be completely different for those individuals. There is a path to success, and that brings us to step 3, which is what it all boils down to: baseline testing. So when you first started, for the first few days, you were given basically a template, here, eat this meal plan.
Yep.
There was nothing magic about that meal plan. And I don't even know if that meal plan triggered weight loss or not. What that meal plan was designed for is to analyze your specific results given a highly specific set of variables. In other words, that meal plan I've used for literally 10,000 people, more than that actually. And now I've collected all this data. So I know if you're male, 40s, mesomorph, mildly active, this body weight, here is on average how somebody will respond. Weight up, weight down, whatever, on this intake level, on this caloric intake, this macronutrient breakdown, this amount of meals, this glycemic load, it's all measured. Yes, it takes a little bit of work, but it's just a few days. If you can follow a template for a few days, then Metpro can collect that data. And now we know, okay, here's how you're responding in real time. Here's how you've responded compared to the masses. And we can actually give you real world functional feedback on, and say, hey, Gene, your metabolism's on the slow side. So because of that, here's going to be our next steps and strategy. Or, hey, Gene, your metabolism's just fine. In fact, you're outpacing the average. Because of that, here's our strategy. But we don't presume to know your strategy until we actually look at the data. The good news is we figured out how, as we've improved and innovated and used a little bit of technology over the years, we figured out ways to come up with a way of collecting that data in just a few days, enough to at least get started with the transformation process, get started with adjusting the meal plan or making specific body type driven exercise recommendations. That's really the key to how we help people transform.
Hi, listeners of Growth Think Tank. You're going to get a free offer today for tuning into this episode, very special episode where I share my journey of losing a ton of weight, ton of body fat, and what it's done for my life just by going into metpro.co/GTT. That is Metpro, Pro.co, no M, /GTT for Growth Think Tank. Or if you talk to one of their advisors, make sure you tell them you heard about it from Gene Hammett or Growth Think Tank, and you'll be able to get a free consultation where you can get your personalized assessment for this. I partnered with the company to be able to bring this to you because I know how important energy is. I know how important your health is. And I wanted to go through it first so that you can actually get a real understanding of what this is. So go to metpro.co/GTT. Now back to the interview. I will tell you, I feel like that's what you guys did through that opening period. And I don't know from a sciencey background, and you know, I knew why you were doing it, but I will tell you guys, it's certainly not as complex as what Angelo described. I was eating good meals. I had snacks, so I didn't have to intermittent fast, which, you know, some people love, some people hate. I actually love breakfast, and so I still get to have breakfast with my family. I'm having a little something different than they are, and I've adjusted just a small few things, but it's really not been hard. Like that's the beautiful part. Awesome. I can continue doing this for a long period of time. I'll probably still have a special meal out here and there, but as long as I'm feeling this way and losing weight and getting to my ideal rate, I feel just amazing about what Metpro's done. So that's the reason I'm having you on the podcast to talk about this. I want to ask you a question. You talked about time management. I had a good friend of mine who's, you know, on a weight loss journey. His name's John Rampart. He's a founder of calendar.com, a really amazing source out there for this. And his question to you, and I kind of have the same thing, is, you know, how do you manage, you know, putting your health up front when you've got a busy business? Because everyone listening in here is probably driving hard. They might be working 10, 12, 14 hours a day. They have families most of the time, and health sometimes gets pushed to the side. What are your thoughts to those people that are so busy they don't have time for this?
Oh, I love that question. So I hope that some of the listeners will have the opportunity to get to talk with some of our coaches, because we love to personalize the answer to that, because that's what everybody asks. But we work with a very, very large percentage of professionals, executives, CEOs, people that are running companies and have a lot of responsibility. And that's why so much emphasis is on time management. And we're always prioritizing and placing value on fiscal responsibility, profits, bottom line growth, understandably so. It's easy to forget how our personal health on a day-to-day. Now, we don't forget big picture. You ask anyone, where would you rank health? Well, they're always going to put it towards the top. But as soon as they hit the ground running for the day, that priority of health and wellness, the bottom falls out on it and it slides. It gets jostled around, deprioritized. And what's happening is we're not fully realizing our ROI on our time investment, whether it's for your company, whether it's for your personal business, even whether it's for your bottom line, unless you are the most vibrant, healthiest version of yourself that you can reasonably be. And every one of my CEOs, executives that work with us always tell me, it's funny, I'm investing some time of my day into some food prep, into some exercise, yet my productivity and my usable hours out of the day have grown exponential. Oh, and by the way, now my company, I'm setting an example, and now we're starting to see a culture of wellness. And so we're seeing improved productivity and awareness when it comes to personal health and its role even in the workplace. And it's always a positive thing. So I can't emphasize enough how much I would like to promote if you're an entrepreneur exploring untapped potential through just improving your own health and wellness strategically. That's the key.
We're all looking for that extra added advantage. We might be looking at our schedules and looking at, how do we get more benefit for the customers? Rarely ever do leaders take a chance to look at themselves.
Right.
I work as an executive coach. You know that, Angelo. And, in this case, I don't do health coaching. I am going to put out a special offer for you guys in just a second. But you, as a leader, they just don't take the time to think about their own energy. And what you're saying there is such an important piece. I have a client of mine who literally came to me with his words were, I've got so much anxiety right now. I'm not sure how I continue doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I frankly said, you probably can't. You're either going to leave or it's going to kill you. And one of the things he needed to do is lose weight. And he's down 10 pounds. And I'm so proud of him because he's traveling all over the world and whatnot. And
That's awesome.
Having that level of health and vibrance, the word you use, such an important piece as a leader. So thanks for sharing that. I do have another question about fitness because this is kind of personal because I love to work out. I do believe that nutrition is probably 80-90% of it.
So
I think I would have lost the same
that.
amount of weight, or not the same amount of weight. I think I would have lost a lot of weight even if I didn't work out.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. But I want to explain a little bit from the biological standpoint and how your body transforms. So the more consistent you are with exercise, the more it contributes over time. So people come to me often, they say, well, how come we're not focusing on exercise right out of the gate? I say, oh no, we're going to focus on exercise. And I have some very specific things I want you to do. But the reality is for a lot of people, the first 8 weeks of exercise is to get in good enough shape to exercise. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, the sad reality is, and it's easy to happen. We can get deconditioned. And so you want to see how someone can transform with exercise? Well, come spend a day with some of my pro athletes. You look at the training they do and like those workouts. Yes, that will transform your body. You're not going to do those workouts today, but you know what we are going to do? We're going to start bridging the gap. We're going to condition your body. We're going to get the ball rolling. And eventually you are going to be able to contribute more and more with exercise. Now, that being said, it's always a mathematics game. And 85% of people that we work with are coming to us specifically because they need help and specific guidance with unlocking their metabolism, figuring out how to crush through plateaus, lose weight. And in that case, the biggest lever is always going to be your nutrition, but you don't get a free pass. If you call me up, I'm going to make you exercise.
Well, I did it even with a sore knee. We found some exercises that worked around my knee. My knee's stronger.
Oh, good.
Shoulders really, really getting stronger. The weights I use today, not what I used to use, but I feel like I'm progressing toward the right place. I want to kind of wrap this up with a little bit of for you to take the stage here. If someone's really thinking about their health, they're really thinking about taking maybe it's losing weight, maybe it's some other body transformation you want. Where do you begin? Where do you point people to?
Um, talk with one of our coaches. There's I think we have a web link, metpro.co/GTT that you've allowed. I appreciate that so much, Gene. For any of your listeners, if you go there or you just find us online, let us know that you found us through the Growth Think Tank, and we're going to set you up with a real life conversation, not a checklist, not just a history, but somebody who's an actual expert who's going to ask about you. Not just say, oh, here's our program. We do this, 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 this. That is the exact anti of what, that is the exact opposite of what we do at Metpro. What we do is we're going to say, tell me about your lifestyle. I want to know what your history and culture has been for nutrition. What have you tried in the past? What has worked? What has not? Now, tell me about your schedule, your lifestyle, your work. Do you take meals with your family? Do you eat out a lot? Are you on the road? Because we can't tell you what the best strategy is without knowing those things first. And then we're going to be able to give you a highly procured best of next steps. Here are the strategies that we feel are going to be the most effective for you. And then and you can walk away and start implementing that the very next day. But if you feel like you want to take it to the next level, then the process is we're going to actually baseline your metabolism, baseline test, and get some real answers to figure out where mathematically you actually have to start, so we can say, here's where we're beginning, here's where we want to be by this date, and here's where we want to be 6 months from now.
Well, I know that you said that quickly, but if you want that complimentary one-on-one conversation to talk about where you are with your health, just go to metpro.co/GTT for Growth Think Tank. And you'll be matched with someone. When I went through that process, Angelo, I wasn't sure I would learn much from it. I was intrigued by this metabolic reset. That's one of the things that kind of got my interest, is like, I understand that if I could burn more calories and I could do this, I would lose more weight, but I wasn't sure where to start. And when I talked to someone on your team there, they did ask me a question. I'll share it with the audience. They asked me, what did I eat yesterday? And I kind of went through my list. I didn't tell them calories or anything. I just told them what I ate. And they said, is that a typical day for you? And I was like, yeah, it's fairly typical. And he said, what if I told you that you could eat more and still lose weight? And I'm a bigger boy for my size, and I was already kind of intrigued about, I already needed to lose weight because my doctor had told me that my scale was wrong. And I jumped all in. I will tell you, and you can kind of back this up. The reason why I was so successful is because I was committed.
Yeah.
I had a reason, and it wasn't because I wanted to have abs or anything like that. I was doing this for me. I had spent more than 20 years gaining this weight, and I knew that I needed some support behind that. I got highly intentional. I knew where my snacks would be for the next day. I would prep my meals. And I've been through this before, but something was different this time. The commitment and the intention behind it, those two things together. And I just decided I'm not going to have a cheat meal. I'm not going to have a cheat day. I'm not going to give in on this. And I made a promise to myself, and I told my family about it. I told my son. He didn't like it because I'm not taking him out to breakfast or whatever it is he wanted to do, and go fast food. But it wasn't hard. So what would you add to that, Angelo?
The right strategy, it makes all the difference. Some people ask about snacks, for example. What we assign our clients for snacks isn't the same across the board. For example, I have some clients that I have very purposeful snacks in the afternoon. And the reason is because we found that most people do not take snacks socially. They don't have a business meeting around snacks. They don't have an appointment or a date with their wife or husband around snacks, right? So you have more control. We can find those leverage points. We can find the specific strategies around your metabolism, which might surprise you. You might be surprised to find out we recommend eating more carbs or less carbs. And when we do that, you might be surprised to learn that while I love all different types of exercise, certain modalities and categories are the most productive for certain body types with certain goals. And so it's all about optimization. If you have a schedule where you can just throw everything plus the kitchen sink at it, and you can invest, 5 hours a day, exercise, food, and whatever, then you're going to be fine. If you need to execute on this, if you need to lose weight or transform your physique or hit your goals, and you have a very limited window of time to do it in, we want to make sure that every ounce of your efforts go into the most strategic strategies possible. We'd love to get to know you.
Well, that's been fantastic to have you here. I'll wrap this up with, as a leader, you're listening to this show, you really want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, and you can't take care of others unless you have the energy to take care of them. So starts with your eating, and that free offer to get that consultation. Really, it can change your life if you want to get the strategy laid out for you based on your specific, modality and what your goals are. Mine was to lose weight. Be honest with you, to relieve pressure off my knee, but you may have some other goal. So just go to Metpro. That's metpro.co /GTT, and you'll get that special consultation. So, Angelo, thanks for being here on the show, and thanks for sharing your wisdom.
Thanks so much for having me, Gene.
All right. That's a fantastic episode. Hopefully you've gotten something out of that, Metpro. This really is about something I believe in. I know that your health means so much to you. Your legacy means you have to be here for a long time. And as a leader, if you're pushing the boundaries of your own energy and not feeling at your most optimal rate, make sure you check out that free offer at metpro.co /GTT. I want to remind you too that there's a special episode after the interview. I cut the recorder back on. I talk about some of the details behind my own journey with Angelo. And then I talked about, I shared my pictures, my before and after. So if you have some curiousness around what 14 pounds looks like, you can go to your grocery store and you can get, a bunch of steaks together and add that 14 pounds together, and you would see what that is. But I would remind you, you could just look at the pictures and see what it means. But it is a lot of weight in 37 days. I'm going to continue this journey. I'll update you guys around what the details are behind that as this goes on. But I'm really excited to share this offer with you. Now, as always, lead with courage. We'll see you next time.